Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Kat and today I will be setting up my spreads for 2021 in my brand new bullet journal. The journal that I decided to use is the Inserts and Sleeves system from Scribbles at Matter. I got this notebook from a giveaway that I won back in April, I think, and I haven't seen a lot of people using it, so I decided to try it and use this system for next year. The system consists of getting the cover of the notebook and the actual pages separately, so when you finish your notebook, you can just buy new inserts and use the same cover. The cover has a lot of pockets and 2 bookmarks, and I want to give a huge shout out to Amiza from Amiza Omar on Instagram for showing me how to put the inserts inside the cover because it was a struggle. And now you can shop at Scribbles at Matter website and save 10% off using my code CATSPLANNER, and with the notebook all put together, it's time to start planning. The first thing to do was to write my name and the date when I started this notebook. I plan to use this notebook for the first 6 months of 2020, so I will be setting up my pages with that in mind. I know that I'm going to have a lot of blank pages, but I plan to do other creative projects and other extra pages in this bullet journal as well. The inserts and all of the notebooks from Scribbles that Matter come with a key page and an index already set up, so I will use the key page to fill in with my key and color code. If you watched my previous Vlogmas episode where I showed you how I migrate my pages into a new bullet journal, you know that my key and color code are going to be the exact same, but that I like to do them in every notebook to make sure that I like the key that I'm currently using. I don't really use the index in my bullet journal, so I will leave it blank for now. The first page that I'm setting up is my future log. I don't use the year at a glance page where you have the 12 months of the year in one page in those mini calendars. I don't need to have a yearly calendar in my bullet journal, so I'm skipping it and I'm going straight to the future log. The brown paper that you see me using is actually a Muji paper bag that I saved for craft projects and to use on my pen pal letters, but that I thought would be perfect for this vintage theme that I was going for. I ripped the paper into small pieces so I could have 3 on each page, and those are going to be the headers for my titles, 1 for each month. I'm going to do a vertical future log that I never did before, but that it was something that I have been wanting to do for a while. I'm also adding some orange grid washi tape from Paper House, and I placed the washi tape behind the paper so we would have kind of the effect of something it's behind the paper, if that makes sense. And all of the supplies are going to be linked down below with coupon codes, so make sure to check the description box. But I really liked how the washi tape was peeking behind the brown paper. For the titles, I used thick parchment paper and my Tombow Fudenosque pen to do simple calligraphy for the headers. And then I just cut it and I placed it on top of the paper. I think using parchment paper for the titles is very sophisticated, and it makes the title pop a lot more because it kind of blurs the background a little bit. I don't really know how to describe it, but I've been seeing it on Instagram and I decided to try it and I really like the look of it. For the actual spread, I'm writing the days vertically on the page, and to make it more minimal, I am just writing the numbers that are multiple of 5, and the other numbers are going to be dots. I thought that this would give a more sleek look to the spread as well, and I ended up messing up the numbers at the top, but I fixed it with my white Posca pen. And for the last detail, I highlighted the weekends on the future log using a light brown Tombow Dual brush pen. And that is my simple yet aesthetic future log. The next spread is going to be for my yearly goals. I always have a couple of goals for the different categories that I create in my bullet journal, but I don't think that really works. I think that if you have goals and you actually want to accomplish them, you need an action plan. So for this spread, I'm leaving half a page for each category of my goals, and I want to write here the things that I can do in order to achieve my goals, instead of just writing them here and not writing down what I can actually do. So that's what I'm going to try to do for this spread. I'm doing the title in the middle of both pages in the same way that I did the headers for the future log, and the different spaces that I will have here are one for my life related to my job, so anything that I want to accomplish related to that, like school, certifications, job-wise, I will write it in here. I have another space for my YouTube and Instagram goals, so like milestones, videos, like ideas, etc. It's going to be written in here. I have another space for my personal goals and another space for miscellaneous goals that can come to mind throughout the year but don't necessarily have a place to write them down. For the headers, I used my alphabet stamps from Notebook Therapy that I've been loving, and to add a bit more shape and interest to the page, I outlined the spaces with a messy line using the same Tombow marker. My next spread is the When Did I Last Did Something spread. I did this spread on my previous bullet journal and I liked it, but I don't think I was using it as frequently as I should have, and I wasn't adding there the important things, so I'm trying again for next year. This is basically for you to keep track of when was the last time you did something, for example, going to the doctor, or when was the last time that you decluttered your closet or did a digital declutter, or that you meet a certain friend, because now it's a bit hard to track that. But I mainly do this page in my bullet journal because I sometimes forget to do things that I need to do like every 2 months or every 3 months, and then I just don't remember when it was the last time that I did it, so I will write it in here and then I know when it was the last time that I did that. For the actual spread, I wrote the months at the top, and I'm adding the last 6 months of 2020 and the first 6 months of 2021, so I can see when I did the different tasks and activities in the past 6 months and see when I need to do them again in 2021. And on the left side, I will leave it blank and I will write the different things that I want to keep track of when it was the last time I did them. Next up is my bucket list. In my last bullet journal, I didn't add a bucket list page because on my first bullet journal for 2020, I had a bucket list, and when I started my second one in July, my previous one, I looked at my bucket list and pretty much everything that I had there was cancelled due to the pandemic. I remember that I had there one of my goals or in my bucket list was to meet my friends once a month, so I didn't even try to create a bucket list for the second half of 2020. But since now the pandemic is not new to anyone, I think it's time to think outside the box and do a bucket list spread with things that are accomplishable even during a pandemic. I divided my bucket list into 4 sections. I will have a space for things that I want to do alone or just random things that are more personal, and I also have another space for things that I want to do with my friends. Most of them probably virtually, but at least I have a space to write those things down. I will have another space for things that I want to do and try with my boyfriend, because we actually have a list of fun things to do, but we never do them, so I want to make sure that we start doing things next year. And then I have a space for other random things. I always like to have a space for random things because some of the things that I want to try may not fit on the other categories, so I can write them in here. One of the pages that I didn't know if I wanted to include in this setup was my memories and milestones spread. I think it's important to keep track of your accomplishments and document your memories, but for some weird reason I didn't use this page at all in my last bullet journal, and you will see it in my bullet journal flip through that is going up in January. But because it's an important page, I changed the name of it and the layout a little bit, and I called it Highlights of 2021. It's pretty self-explanatory, but I plan to do a mood board type of spread with the different things that happen in 2021 instead of just writing them down. So instead of writing a milestone down, I can just take a screenshot on my phone or on my computer and paste it on this page, and I think it's a bit different, but it's just not writing the things down, if that makes sense. And last but not least, I have my wishlist spread. I am not someone who buys a lot of things or that goes shopping a lot, but I'm someone who sometimes wants something, and when I go out or I do some online shopping, I completely forget about that thing I wanted to buy a couple of months ago, and I just don't buy it. So to avoid that, I'm going to try to write here the things that I want to buy and hopefully get them when I go shopping so I don't forget them. This is a spread that it's not essential in your bullet journal, but I want to use it more frequently, so I'm doing it again. I also did a video earlier this week with 10 page ideas to try in 2020, and I will leave it here in the description box in case you haven't watched it yet, with 10 more ideas for pages that you probably never tried in your bullet journal. And those are all the pages I will have in my bullet journal for 2021. I'll probably leave some blank pages before my January setup just in case I want to add some extra spreads, but that is all I want to do for now. I'm just doing a quick flip through of all the spreads, and if you watched the video until here, make sure to leave a brown heart emoji in the comments. I love seeing you commenting the emojis that I mentioned at the end of the video. It means that you watched the whole thing, and it truly makes me so happy. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next episode of Vlogmas. Bye guys!